The thing is, I wouldn't necessarily go as far as saying BDS have been in a slump. What I would say is that BDS have been unpredictable. And that's not what we're used to for BDS. We're used to consistency. We're used to, great performance after great performance. And it has looked like there's been some problems there. There's plenty of smiles on the side of BDS today. So, if they're coming in and they're playing with a little less pressure, a little bit more confidence, maybe we see a little bit of the BDS of old and it can light a fire under them to get them back on the track to that, that top tier team that we know that they are.
Now, important to mention, Pwns is completely out of the running. They have nothing left to play for, rather than picking up as many points as they possibly can for the end of the year to avoid relegations. BDS, there's a major opportunity that has just opened up for them. Quite literally a major opportunity, because Rogue dropped 3 points here today, and BDS is only 1 behind Rogue. So if they do pick up, even 2 points here, they do basically leapfrog Rogue, and they take that top 4 spot. They suddenly are within major contention. Of course, playing G2 on the final play day, that might be a tough matchup, but, that might also alleviate a little bit of the pressure from BDS. Like, hey, they drop points. That means it's up for us to grab now. That means there's a great opportunity for us to climb back into that top 4 where, of course, BDS belongs. If we would be having the BDS of 2021, then a top 2 would have already been locked out by now. But you cannot always be on that top level.
Absolutely not. At the end of the day, form is something that comes and goes, and the key to real championship winning sides is being able to find the results, being able to find the positions at big tournaments, even when you're not on that top form. That is the real key, and that is the challenge that is sort of before BDS at the minute. Can they, even when not performing at their absolute tippy-top best, can they still get themselves into those big tournaments? We're going to find out over this game and the one in the next Playday, which is going to be the final Playday of EUL, and it could be an absolute classic hap. It could be one for the ages, a last day matchup against G2, and it could be a situation where the winner goes to the major and the loser does not. It might not. They might both go. They might neither go. But, it could be that situation. And today is going to shape a lot of how that's going to look. So, round number 1 we are going into. And it's going to be, interestingly, with Pwns on the defence, Gym and Bedroom to kick us off.
It's not a side you do very often see as the get-go, as the starting off side. Of course, CCTV used to be that a long time ago, but they have changed that. And as Exodus started off strong with picking up Rafale, it's going to be one of the heart breachers gone. It's going to be making it a little bit more difficult. Of course, Playday still around on the exothermic, on the thermite. Is going to have the opportunity to open up the jacuzzi and one other wall they choose to go for. But, losing Rafale, losing the Hibana this early on is definitely not helpful.
It's a terrible start for BDS, not just in terms of the utility, but in terms of the mentality as well. Pwns coming in and just really taking it to them, getting right up in their faces straight away. And if BDS were coming in with a positive attitude, that's going to be a knock to it immediately, thinking that you've had your hard breach removed from that aggression. They have got themselves into garage now. They've got the east breach open. Shaiko, you can see on the Iana there, looking to push forward. Needed that Aruni laser gate cleared out. It will be. ADSs will keep burning throwable utility as well. A lot of damage to Emission and Scyther coming in there. So still 5 versus 4, but BDS now have control of the east side.
Now, one of the RC Retiros was caught off by one of those 2 mute jammers. A grenade quickly came around the corner and dispatched of that and those mute jammers. However, was that the EMP dart that just went off there? I think it is indeed. Stopped it from detonating, and now another explosive actually destroyed the RC Retiro, which means that the bulletproof camera is still up and running, giving away information towards the side of Pwns here.
Does get taken out momentarily just afterwards, but as you say, the information is there at least, and Pwns know how many, in what numbers BDS are looking to push forward here. Shaiko's taken a lot of damage on his push through. He's going to hold on to the construction door for the time being. He sees his man. It's an absolute freebie onto Andreezy, but he's going to be traded out, but not before he gets a mission. No, he isn't even traded out. I thought he'd been taken down there, but absolutely not. Shaiko, with only about 10 HP, less than that, 5 HP, manages to get himself 2, and that swings it here. 3v3 now as the very late trade comes in, but Ilems, he finds a much quicker one, taking Scyther down in the middle of sight.
Oh, this is huge! Exodus is going out for the diffuser here. Of course, he gets spotted out, but is able to rotate back in safely here. Still, some support up onto those main stairs, and his BDS is looking to find another entry here. It's a 2-on-2. If they find one of these kills, suddenly it could be going their way here, but Lems is looking to push himself together with Renshiro. There is a reinforced wall now in the bathroom, though, so they cannot quite use that. They need to find Exodus, who is sneaking through, but he will actually find the kill instead. It's a 14-second 1v1. Renshiro with the LMGE needs to find Exodus with a 6th round in that Roni there, but it seems like he's not going to be in time here. The brief fire comes in, 6 bullets just enough, and Pones is going to be able to lock off that first round. And I was going to say, you cannot count Shaiko out. If he has an HP to his name, he will be able to fire that gun, and he's going to be absolutely deadly. And the DD was. Those 2 kills. Unfortunately for BDS, nothing more came out of it.
For me, Hap, that round sort of is quite a good summation of BDS's stage so far. If you distilled it into one round,
yeah,
that sums it up pretty well. They came in, they lost the opening kill, bit shaky. Shaiko gets a big double, puts them back in charge, and then it's just up and down. It's like a roller coaster through the entire round where they go back and forward until ultimately it's a 1v1 at the end. But the big question is, Hap, is the ending of that round going to be symbolic of the ending of the stage for BDS here? Is that lost 1v1 in the nick of time going to signal how the attempt to get a major spot goes in the next couple of play days? Pawns managed to take themselves round number 1. We're going to move to round number 2, where they're going to be defending all the way downstairs, Church and Arsenal. But we got a Mozzie, we got a Vigil, we got a Mute, we got a top floor roam.
Yeah, indeed, and Pawns is trying to waste as much time as they possibly can here. Of course, if you look back at that last round, it mainly came down from CCTV cache. A quick opening was made onto the balcony there. They tried to push through. A lot of utility used. Let's say 2 RCEs, some grenades as well. And then, in the end, the bulletproof camera was still standing. So BDS wasted a lot of utility and basically left them with very little time. Also, a lot of losses taken. Shaiko onto 1 HP, for example. Not very helpful, even though he was still able to pick up 2 kills in the end. Again, the same opening will be made. The balcony will be opened up. Breeday's looking to detonate Jacuzzi as well, but a Mew Jammer will stop that from happening. They want to go towards that basement, of course. And as the mission goes for the jump out, that's going to be another entry. That's the Lambs now to be picked up. And that is another 5v4 in favor of Pawns. Make that 5v3.
Pawns are just happy to jump out of any window that is in front of them. At the minute, they're just playing super aggressive. They're playing with a team that looks like they've got nothing to lose, and that is the case for them. As we said, the major is out of the window, but there is an opportunity to try and secure points when you look towards the end of the year, towards those relegation places. I mean, this is quite a late setup, Hat, but they're going to be doing some reinforcements down there at the halfway mark. We've got a mission. He's got himself back to site as the Vigil, and Pawns at this point, I think with 2 kills, they're going to be quite happy that their top floor roam is done. They're going to get themselves back, and they're just going to allow BDS to burn a bit of time now, do their drone in, try and get themselves through into some sort of angle. But Exodus, he's playing it aggressive once again. He knows that pressure's likely to come from that area. He steps up and has a little spray, and Renshiro's lucky not to lose his head.
Renshiro almost managed to pick up the kill in the end there. Went for a blind fire through the floor, unable to eventually connect. But the hatches will be opened up here. We see exothermics being used. We see the X-Kairos to be used as well. They still have hold of those 2 hard breaches. More importantly, you see 4 comes out though. It's not going to be dealing too much damage there. Rafal will be able to distance himself just enough before the true damage starts to hit. And with these hatches open now, BDS have a couple of opportunities to go for here, but ideally they would like to go for an extra kill before they commit to an execute.
Still, the droning continues for BDS. It's going to be Rafal that's just buzzing around trying to find what he can. Playday was with him, but he's going to come out of that drone. He's going to be looking to support this push as Renshiro drops the nade through Moto Hatch. Pawns are just happy to try and hold on here. 5v3, and they know it's going to come down to likely a hatch drop or similar, and they're just going to hold their angles and let BDS play into them here and take the gunfights as and when they are advantageous. But either he gets down. WTG, however, finds Renshiro. Exodus onto Playday. It's 1v5. It's Rafal versus the world right now. He's looking to try and get anything going, but no. BDS are shut down. WTG finding the final kill with shotgun in Moto. And that is going to be round number 2 to Pawns as well. And I don't want to jump the gun hat, but is it time for BDS to start sweating?
I might be there, and you know, it was a flawless round in the end, but you got to put a little asterisk next to it. 2 players downed but not out next to that bar in those first couple of gunfights. Those could have easily gone the other way, but it is what it is in the end here. BDS are now 2-0 down. And the next defense is coming, and it's headed towards CCTV. Now, this is the site which every Siege player in the world should know how to attack. You take control of the balcony, you take control of the garage, it is an easy plan from there on. You do not need anything else but those 2. Maybe launch control, so they cannot see 4 upwards. So BDS on their attack. Let's see if they're going to be able to at least get this most basics of sights out of the way.
We're going to have lower garage completely reinforced. Interesting to see Andreezy on the Bandit. It's not that we don't see any Bandit, but we don't see very much Bandit these days. So it is nice to see him brought along. One of my favourite operators, Hap, is a little bit of tidbit there, a little bit of information. Absolutely love Bandit. I mean, everybody loves the gun, to be fair. It's one of the best in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see Amision playing him this time. It's just going to give a little bit of flexibility. They don't, interestingly, have any extra denial, actually. I was expecting to see Kaid or Mute brought along. Obviously, Kaid banned out, but the Mute at least could have then had a jammer on your East Breach. You get your Bandits down on your garage, or vice versa, and you can hold on to both.
I was thinking he might have wanted to go for a bit of a bandit trick there, and I saw a player being active on the bulletproof camera, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I was going to say, if he then misses the exothermic, you could get a quick dart out with an EMP to see if you could theoretically disable it that way, but they're just pre-placing it and not bothering too much about it. And that means they need to get a grenade in place. They need to get rid of these bandit wires. There's a couple of opportunities to do so. You could either go in from the main door with an explosive such as the Sophia. You could also angle one in from Lem's position, but it seems like they want to go for that bottom floor control first.
And that will be the lower garage opened up, which is going to apply indirectly pressure onto Catwalk. It's going to be Lem's job, potentially, to start getting some nades thrown up there. So he just needs to be careful with his push into main door, because we do have Shaiko with the nades as well, but they just need to be cautious that they get that Catwalk cleared out before anybody dies with nades in pocket, because if they lose 1 or 2 to any of these gadgets, particularly the ADSs or Wamai discs, it could be a problem. Lems does find a mission to start things off, but WTG with an immediate trade, and Lems dies with 2 nades in pocket. So watch this space. If Catwalk doesn't get cleared off because they don't have the offensive utility to do it, then that could be part of the problem. But I think Pawns might have given up the Catwalk.
Yeah, they might actually. Grenades are coming in from below here from Shaiko, looking to find Andreezy. A little bit of damage done, but he will still live. And in the meantime, oh, there's a second grenade. That might be... Nope, that's also misplaced. Andreezy will live as well. And now the main breach is opened up. They want to take control of garage. In the meantime, the red stairs is being prepared as well. So, again, multiple different avenues are being prepared and explored here by the side of BDS.
Scyther was still in position on the Catwalk. Couldn't see him because he was led prone, but Shaiko doesn't need nades. He's going to go in and find his man with a headshot and take him down, and that gives BDS the control they need. They've got East Breach, they've got Catwalk. There's no reason that they can't start aggressing forward and trying to get the diffuser down, but WTG is still in place with smokes in hand, so can deny that plant attempt for the time being. Breeder is going to be pushing towards site. We've seen this plant a million times. He's going to try and get himself in behind the server stack. He's going to try and put the diffuser down on the ground. The challenge needs to come into the smoke, though.
We still have a player outside, though, so as these smoke canisters go off, Andreezy could be jumping through the window to stop this plant from happening. Rafal needs to go up very quickly in these last 10 seconds.
He's going to just try to breach into sight there, takes out the Banshee. Here comes Exodus, though, a big double kill from him and Andreezy to bring us back to 2v2. It's all up to Renshiro, 2v1. Pawns look like they've held on here as time ticks down. Renshiro can't find the last. BDS, they fall just short again.
There is definitely a long way to go, but also, we gotta say it, if BDS do lose this game, if G2 and LFO both win their games, they are both confirmed for the majors. So with everything going as it's going, we could either end up in like a 6-way battle for the last 3 spots, or for a four-way battle for the last spot. So nonetheless, it's going to be absolutely crazy here what's going to be happening in these last couple of days. The Pwns, the team that is currently in last, you see it at the top right in the live ranking. If they would be to lock off the match as it currently stands, which is a full 3-pointer, they would be headed up towards the 7th place. And those are points that are more than welcome in their pockets if they want to be going into the end of the year avoiding relegation.
Going to have the East Breach open nice and quickly. It's going to be a push towards Gym and Bedroom once again. Pawns having locked down the first 3 sites. They're just going to rinse and repeat. They're just going to rotate back through. We're going to see them try to do exactly the same. It's going to be up to BDS to try and do things differently here. We can hear the EMP being used there. That will be out of a bulletproof camera just to try and deny a bit of utility. We've got a challenge there and Amision just missing his shots. And what an opportunity that would have been. I believe it was Shaiko on the challenge from the East Breach there, and that would have been a big name to take down for the opener.
Nitro actually denied as it was tossed out, and Shaiko finds the return with the fragmentation grenade, and that is going to be the call for the rest of Pwns to start falling back. You wasted a minute and 10 seconds. BDS is now starting to push towards that top floor. Lem's still below near the main door, and as he goes for the reload, Exodus is trying to be a little bit sneaky here. Sneaks up with that Roni. Only 16 bullets. You're not going to be outgunning in a longer engaged firefight against the LMG, but you still definitely can get the jump onto a Lems who is quickly flicking drones here and there, trying to find out where his defenders are located.
Exodus has moved himself away to the main stairs. May well have been a smart move. It was very cautious play from Ilems there. Lots of drone use and likely would have picked the man up, so decides to keep himself fighting for another day. 1 minute 15 seconds left to go. 4v5, a mission off the board, but still plenty of utility and plenty of manpower for Pawns to hold on. We've seen them do this before. We've seen them hold this without the man advantage. Andrize, he's going to take the choice just to seal up Bathroom. If you remember last time around, he tried to do that. He got a gun down from the window, so it's going a little bit better. But here comes Shaiko. He finds himself WTG. He finds himself either Exodus somehow on a trade.
How did Shaiko manage to get that kill at the same time? They traded each other out evenly, and that leaves us in a 2-on-4 situation here. Still BDS, plenty of room to play with, plenty of time to play with. They know where Exodus is, they know where Andrizi is. This should be an easy lockout, but we've seen it gone the other way as well many, many times before, Tim.
We really have. We've got Andrizi just holding on inside a Bathroom with the Auda for the time being. Exodus has got a crossfire on to construction door as well. He can also cover the window potentially, but Breeday's got himself inside a gym, and that's going to be the most difficult place for Pawns to be able to impact here because every angle is covered by BDS. They try to make something, but they can't as Renshiro shuts down Andrizi. Breeday completes the plant. Renshiro with the final kill, and BDS finally lock themselves in the first round of this half.
Again, I'm going to be saying Shaiko inside the logic there. Like, I was certain he didn't see the foot of the player that was laying down underneath the desk. It is one of the most common hiding spots inside of course, Clubhouse. And when he got that first kill, I was like, okay, now the swing comes in, he gets traded out, it's an even trade, but somehow he flicked onto the player underneath the desk, still got that kill at the same time he was shot himself, and he evenly trades that. It is insane that he was able to respond that quickly to the jump up of the player underneath that desk. And BDS, as a result, were able to take control more so of the site. Suddenly there was not too many players left. Remember, one got picked up early, Shaiko on his own, taking out 2 as well. Only leaves 2 for the remaining 4 of BDS. So their first round is in pocket. They still need to look for some more, and round 5 will be where they'll do that. Up to the bottom floor we go.
Shaiko doing Shaiko things, keeping BDS in this one at the minute. Renshiro with a couple at the end there, but other than that, 3 kills across 3 players. Breeday, Rafal and Ilems inside 4 rounds. It's not going to help BDS to be putting scores on the board here. We're going to have that top floor roam once again coming in from Pawns, but this time we've got Rafal on the Monty. That is going to be the change for BDS. You think we see this straight down dirt tunnel here, Hap?
We might actually. I mean, the pings are coming through, so they want to get it opened up. It's soft as well, so there's absolutely no reason not to. Quick drone to be used, see if there's anybody out there. And then you're looking at it, who can quickly open it up? I mean, you have Rensure, but it's on the other side of the map, so it's not really the right choice to go for. And the rest don't not carry anything to open it up with, so Rafal as well, as he uses...
I don't think he meant to do that, huh?
I think he thought he had a heartbreach schedule with him, so he tried to deploy that, and then a smoke popped out. So, you know, that doesn't really seem to work. The smokes do not open up walls, unfortunately. and that means that he will have to wait for some support from his teammates to open up that wall completely.
A mission up on the top floor hasn't been picked up on yet, or they'll know he's there, but he hasn't had any contact yet. That should be telling him something. Should be telling him that there's a potential for a dirt tunnel push here. He's going to have a little look. He sees the head. He just misses Ranchiro, who gets away with one there, gets himself securely inside that dirt tunnel, and there's going to be an opportunity for the Monty to join him. Ranchiro open it up, and it just looks like Pawns aren't really ready for this at the minute. Haps either. He's going to take a lot of damage as pressure comes down into blue as well. They've just completely left those roamers out in the cold. They're not bothered about the top floor BDS here. They just want to get themselves in and start getting some kills. Rafal, he's got through the smoke. He's inside a site. He can start hassling. He's going to be joined by Shaiko. This could be absolutely deadly. That's brilliant from Andrizi. Shaiko gets one. Shaiko gets two. Shaiko gets three. How many times are we going to hear that? Big triple. Diffuser down on the ground. Lems finds Exodus with the nade, and surely this is another BDS round of mission. Fighting hard, but not hard enough as he's shut down by the last man. BDS, they managed to get another one, and that now leaves them 2-3.
Again, such a huge nitro that came in. You get rid of the Monty, suddenly the diffuser is cold on the ground, but you still have that killing machine, the man who's been able to drop 100 kills every single stage over the last year, that just decides to, hey, I'm a little bit down, actually. I still need to get a couple of kills before I reach that 100. So you know what? Let me just walk in and get those 3Ks there to at least ensure us of that round. And that's exactly what he did. Team BDS now 3-2. And headed up towards the next site, which will be CCTV. We're continuing the rotation, and of course last time this came down to Andrizi jumping out of the construction window, throwing a C4 through the CCTV window to land right behind Bomb Chassis. That eventually let them run out of time, and with 30 seconds left on that prep phase, there's nothing really they can change now with everything almost being set up.
Andrizi bringing a real classic out there, Hap. Just shooting out the east wall a little bit, little hole on each side. For anybody wondering why he'd be doing that, it's, I think, an idea that it's going to aid the sound of any thank you very much. Aid the sound of any exothermics being placed on there. You'll hear it better, and he can get the bandit trick. That is the theory behind taking those shots out, but not something that you see very often anymore.
No, there's not many people trying to go for bandit tricks anymore. The grenades are just too effective against it. As soon as you know someone is active on that bandit trick, that means, all right, let's get the grenade angled up right underneath him, and at the moment we place down the exothermic, that's when the grenade pops up. So they have no clue, no possible opportunity of trying to deny the exothermic. Now, it doesn't seem like he's tricking now. It is two placed bandit wires, and he's off roaming near the construction site, and that means that it's easily taken care of. If you had a Flores, for example, you could be driving an RC through the drone hole, but that's not going to be happening here. So they need to go from below, get a grenade in right underneath those bandit wires.
Going to have the standard holes opened up. Obviously, the one on the lower garage wall, the 12 pellets that are going to give a walkthrough. You understand why that is there. The other hole that you see at the top right of those garage walls, that's opened up because it gives a line of sight up onto the window from CCTV into garage. So it prevents anybody playing in the corner there, and it also cuts off the rotate for defenders to move back and forward from catwalk. So that's the purpose of those two holes. Now then, Exodus, he's creeping his way in towards Barhap. I'm not sure if Alems knows he's there or not. I think he does. I think there's a bit of information because Alems, he just puts the brakes on. Shaiko, he continues his reign of terror and shuts down a mission. Alems, fully aware of Exodus, gets the kill as well, and BDS, they've looked like they've woken up, Hap.
This is just BDS, right? They go for the tactical timer, they know exactly what they've done wrong, and they're improving on every single step along the way here. Shaiko, able to get that very first entry, is alleviating the pressure that is coming in from the garage just a little bit. After that, you can start opening up, but it's Saito now from the mezzanines that's able to find Shaiko in launch. That at least brings back the balance a little bit in favor of Pawns here, but there's still an extra person left on the side of BDS, so ideally they will find another one.
It's either he's going to just look for that angle down into lounge. WTG finds Alems, levels things up, 3 versus 3 now. Rafal on the breach. Playday needs to do something about catwalk. He has to get the kill onto Scyther here. He needs to open up that angle of attack. That's the only thing at this point that's likely to make Pawns feel any pressure. WTG, he takes down Renshiro, and all of a sudden Pawns fighting back in what seemed like a BDS round. 45 seconds left to go, but Rafal, he gets himself a freebie onto red stairs. Flashbang goes in. WTG has to push. He gets the kill while full white flashed onto Rafal. Just moves around, pumps the shotgun and takes the man down. Playday shut down by a troublesome Scyther, who then never managed to move. And Pawns, they managed to lock out the first half 4-2.
For a couple of seconds there, actually a full minute, it seemed like BDS had this round in the lock and key. It starts out with Shaiko getting a very important kill onto the garage. Suddenly a lot of pressure there gone. Just a player up on the rafters you have to take care of. Lems then finds the flank as well, but isn't quite able to lock it off after that. So what happens is they both get taken out around the launch area. Suddenly, the bottom floor presence you had is gone. And all that you can go for is either the breach or it is to run in from the garage and hope for the best there. And they all got one by one picked up. And as WTG went for a trade kill, really, because he was injured himself after he got that headshot. They didn't realize that the pickup was going through. Otherwise, it could have gone a double kill as they swung through with the automatic rifle.
Round number 7, then, we're going to have BDS on the defence now. They take us down to the bottom floor to begin with Church and Arsenal. Interesting to see Rafal up on the top floor there. They've got Lems on the mute. BDS, not a team necessarily known for their widespread roaming. We normally see them a little bit more turtled onto site. It looks like they're going to be playing a top floor extension here, at least to some degree, but doesn't look like there's too much support up there for the Bandit. Renshiro manages to take down a drone. Everyone is going to help. And we've got Shaiko in his usual spot. He's going to be locking down blue.
He's going to do his best there to stop any of the attackers to basically get use of blue or stock or launch. That is going to be his area of expertise here. And as he's prone, inside the stock is just waiting until he sees some feet passing by. It's not going to be happening anytime soon. We might see one of the heart breachers actually drop off that way if they feel like there is no other place through. But I doubt it. Like, I think the garage one would be more favored here, even though the thermite is quite close to the actual edge of that door.
Lems and Rafal still active on the top floor, but I wouldn't expect them to hold on to that necessarily for too long. I think we'll see more of a tentative hold rather than a confrontational one. Shaiko just going to readjust and move that magnet, keep himself on the blue stairs, and the pressure is going to start to mount on those top floor defenders. We can already see that they are starting to fall back. Lems has got himself back to that main stairs. This could be a freebie. Lems, right place, right time, shuts down Scyther as the sledge opens up the jacuzzi wall, and it doesn't get much better than that for Lems. As you see, he dashes himself straight down the main stairs. He's happy with what he's got, and he's had a good time. He's going to give somebody else a go.
It's definitely a good opening here, and instantly Pwns are on the back foot now. They need to start headed towards that bottom floor anytime soon, but they don't really know where the remaining players of BDS are. Of course, we know they're all down into the basement itself, so no one is really on a roam, no one is really on a flank currently. Neither are they in a position to put one up. I mean, maybe we see someone rotating up the blue stairs, but surely you will shut that down if you want to go for a take directly to the site. There's 70 seconds left on that clock, 75 actually, and hatches are starting to be opened up here by Emission, using the X-Kairos to at least provide some entries towards the site, but the hatch drops are far from ideal, so ideally they will be trying to find an extra entry somewhere else.
Emission just on a little rotate here. I think probably going to get that kitchen hatch opened up. 55 seconds left to go, and time is certainly ticking for Pwns here. This could become a little bit problematic as the seconds tick away. BDS have got themselves locked inside a site now. 5 still alive, and it is not going to be an easy job. Playday inside a dirt tunnel is going to make things even more difficult if they're looking to stack up for a kitchen hatch drop here, which looks like it certainly could be the play. With 30 seconds left to go, they're not going to be left with many choices now. 3 of them in there. Andrizi with the diffuser in hand drops down behind that smoke. Very clever play with the shield in front of his face just to protect himself. He's going to be able to plant that, and he might be able to get the diffuser down behind this hap. He's at least going to go for it. There's smoke all over the place, but they're not managing to find the man. There comes the kill from Playday. That's what they needed. Second onto WTG, 4v2 now, and very little that Pwns can do other than look for kills. They have to throw bodies at it, and that is all they can do. BDS, they take the round, and they bring us back to 4-3.
As soon as they lost the sledge, as soon as they used the second exothermic on the soft floor to open up some form of cover that was meant to actually help Andrizi there as he went for the drop, they could only go for a kitchen drop, because there was no other way that they could either go down the main stairs, quickly open up on the left, or open up on the church site. So basically at that moment in time, BDS knew exactly where they had to go for. 3 smoke canisters used, not really able to find the player behind the shield, but with that, a lot of cover being tossed up as well. Playday going aggressive in the end there, finding the kill just in time, and after that, the trades coming in all in favor of BDS. Now 4-3. only have reduced the gap to just a single round. And mind you, again, here you have it, by the way, the replay. So the smokes get used.
I love the play. Look at the bullets ringing off that shield. It works really well.
It works really well. But at that moment in time, they also know exactly what his plan is, right? So the C4 pops in. It's not going to be close enough to actually get rid of the talent shield. 3 smoke canisters used. None of them are able to find a final tick, but at the same time, the Banshee is going off, so they know there is still someone in there. Playday is going for the chase, will be able to find that kill, and with that, stop the diffuser dead in its tracks. And now we're headed up towards the top floor here. BDS deciding to go for CCTV Cash as their second side. Again, this side used to be very favored for defenders, but it fell off so quickly afterwards and is now one of the best attacking win rate sites in the entire game.
Going to have immediate approach to both sides of the building here, and that's interesting from Pawns. I think we're going to see pressure onto that jacuzzi wall once again. Scyther's going to be cautious this time, losing his life there in the previous round, so he's just going to be on the drones. He's up on the roof, I think, for the time being, and Andreezy up there on the Iana as well. Scyther then drops down. He'll open the wall now that he's confident that Alems has been forced back to construction, so he's not going to get gunned down as soon as he opens it. Exodus, he moves in. He's supported by the Gemini drone at the moment, and he knows that Alems is on the door there, and this could be Alems getting himself cut off. He needs to be very careful. I'm not sure Exodus was quite aggressive enough there. Alems, there was a real opportunity to be able to cut him off. You knew that he was up on that construction door, but Alems gets away with one, and he's able to wriggle back to site.
Yeah, he's able to waste a couple of seconds there, valuable seconds in the end, and as Exodus went for the pre-fire, Alems actually crouched right underneath the LMG there. That is a bit of an unfortunate opening there. That is going to be very tough for them to get through, so they might need to rethink it here. Go and take the garage so you can go for a plant through the window and then provide cover from the actual balcony there, because you're probably not going to get through.
That hap is what is technically known as a mess.
It's definitely known as a mess. This is not going to be helping them at all this round.
Sorry, BDS, but sorry, Pawns, rather. You've made a mess of that one. They're going to be trying to push it from the construction side instead. We're going to have WTG diffuser in hand, I think, looking to just get that construction wall open. 1 minute left to go, but still lots of work for Pawns to do here. They haven't actually been able to shut down Alems, who's on a very stealthy little roam underneath at the minute. Andreezy is on the flank drone, but if he drops off that at any point, Alems is going to have an opportunity to get himself back up main stairs. I'm watching the operator card of Andreezy, and he right now is locked into that drone. So obviously Pawns have recognised that there's one missing from sight.
Bernie Jaeger took out a thermite charge at the very same time, so that is going to be stopping one of those breaches to come through and force them to go through the door. That's exactly what they're doing, but it's all going downhill. It's a 3-on-3 in a mission now. Entering from the garage gets quickly shut down. Exodus inside the site, but doesn't have the diffuser to carry along with him. It's a 1-on-2 situation as the C4 finds one more, and Alems and Renshiro have everything in pocket to try and close this off. 17 seconds. Soon this plant needs to happen, and it's exactly what Andreezy is setting himself up for here, but as the timer is slowly running out, that will hit 0 at some point, and that means Alems can just go for the take as it runs out. Andreezy actually finds the kill there, and Shiro now needs to start hurrying up here because there's only 4 seconds left. He might actually pull this off. No, he won't. And BDS out of the major at the final Playday. Imagine the scenes. You're just seeing a few of those R6 share skins at the bottom of your screen as well. Some absolute beauties added this time around. BDS having the Mozzie, of course, and we see the Team Secret one as well. Plenty to have a look at next time you log on. We're going to have round number 9, then it's going to be back to gym and bedroom. I say back to, we haven't seen BDS have this one yet, but I mean, in the sense of the whole game, Pawns tried it a couple of times. BDS, they are going to be sitting pretty if they can get this one done. It gives them a full defensive rotation. Exodus needs to remember those holes work both ways. He's going to take some damage from on in CCTV. Now an opening will be made, and that is why you don't put it in the middle, Playday.
He's got away with it.
Oh, WTG, sorry. How did he manage to get away with it? Did Alems not go for the place down in the end?
I think he did. I think it was just ever so slightly on the other side.
I was going to say, this is why you do not put it in the middle of 2 walls, because if one gets tricked, the whole exothermic goes. But apparently it was just enough to the left there. So they do get the opening. The exothermic does eventually get used, and that means that Pawns can now take control of CCTV and Cash and work themselves towards the mirror window. That is inside Logi. This is going to be a big problem for them here because they need to get rid of that somehow there's no Twitch on the board. They probably will need to go from above and try and angle a grenade in.
Yeah, that's going to be the play. They've got 5 grenades left on side, so they can get up there, open the logistics hatch, and just start tossing that utility down in towards the mirror. Going to make it very difficult then for the player to stay in position. Renshiro there for the time being. Nitro goes out. He's going to have the wall opened up at the side. This is the alternate. You don't necessarily need to get the logistics hatch. You can take out the wall to the side of the mirror window, and you can bounce nades in through the hole that Renshiro is currently using.
For a second there, I thought that exothermic might actually take out the mirror window there as well. Sometimes we do see it did take out some part of the soft wall there, so it wasn't too far off. It could have actually happened there. So luckily for Pwns, BDS, sorry, that is not going to be the case, and they keep hold of that mirror window here. Grenade bounces in, and that means Jacuzzi will now be opened up, so that also puts the Lambs into a bit of a tricky position here behind the bomb chassis. Really needs to hope that there is no pressure coming out from the window. Good impact there, actually, because there is no more Selmas left.
That's a really nice throw from Playday, just catching it on the angle there and able to take that breach down. So they're not going to be able to move in through that wall. No exothermics left, no Selma charges left, no hard breach gadgets on side. So they are now stuck with what they've got, our Pwns on the attack here. And what they have is a one-man lead at the minute. They're going to move in through construction, get themselves into logistics. Here comes a challenge from Renshiro, but he's going to be shut down by WTG, and they're moving in numbers now. 5v3, 30 seconds left to go, and BDS just trying to hold on, but their backs are to the wall. A challenge comes in onto the window. It's not Andrizi that finds his man. Ultimately, it's Exodus. Playday gets one, unlikely to get another now. They know his position. WTG going to secure the plant. That's 4v1. It's barely a second later that the round is ended by Exodus moving in, kill after kill, and that's going to be Pwns taking the lead once again, 5-4, and this is tense.
That was half a second earlier. That swing from the Jaeger onto the diffuser, that could have been the kill. That could have been the round in the end there for the side of BDS. But fact being, Pwns, they saw that mirror window. They realized this is a big problem. How do you deal with big problems, Tim? You just send everybody through the rotation hole and hope for the best. And they got it there. They misplaced mirror. They managed to push her away from the mirror window and push 2 people inside logistics. Find that kill. Suddenly you have that under control. Suddenly there's a whole part of the map that BDS relied on keeping control of, because it would have stopped them from using the construction as an entry point. Out of control. Lost into Pwns their hands. And they used it expertly well there to pick up their 5th round. Only a single one away now from snooping away some points that BDS would desperately want to have today.
Back to Church and Arsenal, we saw this in round number 7. Elems was a little bit of a nightmare for Pwns out on the roam. He got the entry kill, he got himself back to site safely, and it was just a great round from BDS. They were very much in control of things. They forced Pwns into a kitchen hatch drop when it was 3v5, and they just didn't have the numbers or utility to support it really, and it was a pretty easy mop-up for BDS in the end. So I think they're going to have a little bit of confidence down here in this one, and it seems like less of a top floor presence. Last time around they had 2 men up on the top floor. This time BDS, I think, limiting it to 1 at the most.
Yeah, Salem's all the way up top, and if he finds the sledge again, that would be detrimental. They really need to keep a hold of sides there, because it just allows you to open up so much more extra around the kitchen, around this hallway, the kitchen hallway. And as there is Renshiro now trying to join him up on that top floor. Saita might have given away the opportunity there for himself to enter if it isn't for Andrizi trying to retake some of this top floor as well. Drones are coming around the corner here. He has been spotted, and that means that they're trying to take that ground as best and as quickly as they can on the side of Pwns.
Andrizi nearly lost his head there to Elems shooting out a drone. It just lined up for a second, but Elems unable to land those shots. All 5 back on site now. That is a quick clearance from Pwns, and that's often what happens to BDS when they don't commit heavily to the roam. They are going to be forced back, but BDS are absolute masters of locking down the site, and they will keep themselves alive for as long as possible. Exodus has taken a lot of damage in that clearance, down at about the halfway mark, and Pwns now getting in and starting to open up all those hatches.
This time both exothermics used on a hatch, so they're not keeping one left if they would like to go for a triple wall push in the end there, so that one will stay close. We might see some Excaris placed here and there, but with 90 seconds left, 80 seconds left actually, there's still plenty of time for Pwns to try and make a play here. And with this sledge alive as well, it's just going to be opening up the entire kitchen floor, and there you have it. Excaris now will be used to get rid of these feet holes here so they don't feel as safe as they normally would. Second one to be placed in right after that one might be a bit prone towards an impact trick, but at least you find yourself an angle.
Going to see the X-Kairos pellets just tricked off there, so it's going to be the one hole for Amision to work with. He sees some feet, but he takes a lot of damage in return. Got to hit his shots there. It's not an easy position to play because there's a lot of furniture, a lot of obstacles in the way of those lines of sight. It's one that we've seen Paolo play quite a lot over the years, and he's a bit of a master of it, and maybe some tips need to be taken from Amision there because he's unable to land any real damage onto the man inside a church. 30 seconds left to go, and we're seeing it once again. The stack up on Hatch. Andreezy with shield in hand. He's likely to go down and try to use this Talon shield to protect him when getting the diffuser down.
The Yokais are here to know exactly where they are. The smokes will be coming through. A grenade just unfortunately falls through as well. And it's at 3-on-5. Execute. 10 seconds left for Pones. Exodus goes down. And Andreezy will be smoked out. And it's only up to Amision now. Up through that hatch. 6 seconds on the clock. He's not going to be able to do it. He will find one for his efforts. But it's BDS that equalized the score yet once again.
No matter how that round felt at times, BDS were in full control throughout it. And the end of that shows you exactly that. As soon as the drop came in, Pawns had no idea that the Yokai drone was even watching them. It was just feeding in the perfect information for them. And a player like Playday on smoke, when he's got a yellow ping there, he ain't going to miss that smoke, let me tell you. And the kill that came in shows exactly that. 5-5 then, we are guaranteed of all 12 rounds of regulation, and we could just complicate those major attempts even further with an overtime result here.
Now, let's say Pones takes an overtime win here. That puts BDS onto 13 points as well. Then G2 and LFO both lose their games, and we have 4 teams for 3 spots on 13 points. And then with M&M and Outsiders still being able to
they could be on 11 and 12 effectively.
So yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of opportunities here, a lot of possibilities. It's only game 2 of the evening here, and surely as we progress, it will become more set in stone, or not, depending on how it'll all go in the end here. But Pones are putting up a good fight here. They were the number 10 team. They still are the number 10 team currently in the league. And BDS, you know, they are often known as Europe's best hope during the international events, and somehow always fall a bit short there, but it's definitely been a fall from grace for them in Europe.
This is it at the minute. You know, we've got to be honest, and you can't really say that they are looking like the best hope right now because the consistency just hasn't been there for them. We're going to see a Selma and an exothermic placed at the same time. One will clear off the other, but it was, I think, more just to gain access and guarantee that that wall got opened, especially with the previous attempts of bandit tricks that we've seen today. We don't have bandit on site this time, but I think they were just being cautious that they didn't lose anything.
Yeah, it's of course just so they can only trick one, not get both, and that is actually a magnet that catches off one of these Selmas. It was meant for the mezzanine wall so they could get rid of the player out there, and Rafal almost loses his life as a result.
What's Rafal doing there?
Opening. It's the EMP dart, I think, to come through, or it is going to be a Mew Jammer. I'm not quite sure which it is, but he just barely stays alive.
Rafal can't be peeking that window that aggressively like that. He easily could have lost himself, but more importantly, it would have lost Garage Catwalk for BDS as it is Shaiko. He's moved in to try and bolster things down at the bottom. He sees his man and he gets him. Shaiko takes down WTG. Amision finds Rafal. That takes down the Catwalk player, but there is still the potential for Shaiko to make a nuisance of himself and to roam in underneath and still try to hold on to Garage.
Well, it's been pushed off there. He's not really going to be able to play inside the garage itself anymore. So he's up there. He's next to the bomb chassis, waiting for a jump in to come through because it seems like indeed they're setting themselves up. But he needs to be very careful there. He almost exposes himself just a little bit too much. Amision misses the opportunity of finding Renshiro. It was supposed to be a freebie there, but now the diffuser kit has been dropped outside, and BDS, well, they might just find themselves on match point here.
Difficult for Renshiro there as bullets rained around him. He managed to keep himself out of the line of fire and get his kill. Shaiko with another in the round onto Andreezy. That's 14 in the game as well. Certainly worth mentioning. Exodus with a beautiful double vertical nade and then finds the headshot onto Renshiro. All of a sudden, what was a 4 versus 2 is a 2 versus 2, and Pawns are in a position where this is winnable, Hap.
Yeah, it definitely is, and deciding to stack themselves up together. 40 seconds on the clock. They do not want to go for a split push. They need to go off of each other's contact here, especially with the Nitro Cell that is still in play here. So they need to make the call now. Are we going up the stairs or are we going through the balcony here? It actually seems like a split push is on the way. Scyther going up to the garage. Exodus up on the balcony. Who will find the first kill? That's the most important.
Exodus and Shaiko just battling it out at the minute. That double taking Exodus back into the lead with 15 kills. One more, but he will be shut down by Playday. A big kill from a big player at exactly the right moment. Another 1v1 here. Scyther diffuser in hand. Elems just needs to keep himself alive. Here he finds the final kill. And BDS, they're going to be the ones that have an opportunity to win this inside of 12.
The timer in his favor there. He was playing right behind the box and he needed to push for the kill because there was still utility left. There was not enough time left. And there it is, BDS find themselves on a match point. Only one round they have available to themselves to pick up the full 3 points. And with that, leapfrog themselves over Rogue with quite a margin. And as well, put up the pressure onto G2 and LFO, both at the same time, who are still playing today. The 6-5 scoreline, BDS, just a single round left. Have the choice here of the kid's bedroom, or the bedroom and the gym, rather. That grenade, that started off well. It almost was the comeback that went on because of it. This is Shadow.
Second as well, beautiful, absolutely beautiful double from Exodus, and he's absolutely flying tonight, and this is something that we've seen when he plays well, Pawns play well, and at 15 and 8 there's absolutely no wonder. Shaiko currently trailing 1 behind him on 14. Going to be looking for more here. He got shut down as the entry death last time we saw this site. It was back in round number 9, and it was an opportunity for BDS to get themselves a complete defensive rotation. They were unable to do it. Pawns got the win. If you remember, it came down to the bit of a rush in through the logistics side of things when they sort of ran out of ideas. They didn't have an opportunity to hard breach into sight. They just piled through next to the mirror window, got through the wall and just basically forcefully pushed themselves into sight and got the job done. But they may not get away with that again.
They may not, indeed. At least the angles are being watched. This time here by Exodus will take care of the garage cam as well. Pawns, they want to pick up these points, not because it matters for them to get to the major, but because it matters at the end of the year. Every point might keep you safe from relegation, and every point might give you a pro career for yet another year. Openings will be made. Quick control to be taken off CCTV. But they still need to head towards cash, and then they need to head towards the construction site. And guess what? The mirror window is out there again, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to get away with it again to just walk through and jump in with 2-3 people.
BDS wanting to play much more behind the mirror window than they do play into CCTV and cash. Quite often we'll see a heavy presence at top of red stairs inside of cash. Teams try to hold on from there. BDS, they play this a little bit deeper. One inside of construction. Shaiko aggressively up to the window. Levels things up with Exodus there, finding his 15th kill. It was onto Andrizi. Renshiro, he there with another big one. Headshot onto a mission, and it's looking good for BDS right now. 5 versus 3, and it looks like they might have just broken the spirit of Pawns.
It's definitely a great start to this round, to their only match point, to their only opportunity for full 3 points here today. But Exodus still alive. The man has been on fire throughout this game, and he's playing with an LMG and an operator that can heal herself. So with 70 seconds left on the clock, Shaiko's still alive up against Exodus. Anything is still possible. I mean, we've seen the comebacks happen before. If they do find one more on the side of BDS, then that might be the nail in the coffin as Scyther does get downed. Oh, Shaiko with the knife kill right afterwards. That's the triple kill for him. He has the diffuser as well. Exodus is the last one. He's the last one outside, waiting outside the window. Shaiko, how did you live through that? Again, that's the second moment.
That's just an unconscious reflex from Shaiko, and that is absolutely unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in the hundreds, thousands of hours of Siege that I've casted. Coming in through that window, for Shaiko to win that out was absolutely unreal. Renshiro finishes it off. It's a flawless round for BDS to lock things down. Shaiko, a bit of a carry once again from him. Lots of kills on the board at the end of things, and BDS coming through with a very hard-fought victory.
I was pretty sure as soon as they jumped in, Shaiko would have been dead.